Hey guys, I wanted to make a video on my Ubering mishap, and well, I mean it's not a mishap, but it has to do with Uber, yes. But let me show you something. Here is my 2022 Nissan Altima. This is the vehicle that I Uber in. Okay, that happened through no fault of my own at the car wash exactly 1 week ago. A Nissan 2500 pickup backed into me at the car wash. I was just getting the car washed to get back out on the road, and that happened. The door, because of that little crease right there, only opens up about 24 inches. Now, obviously, can't Uber in it. So let me tell you what's happened since then, though. Since then, my insurance company happens to be the same as the person that hit me. You would think that would be easy, that would just make things less complicated, but it has not at all. They, of course, are treating it as a third-party claim. They are denying they're not wanting to pay me for any lost Uber wages, even though I can show 5 weeks worth of average income, because I've only been doing it for 5 weeks. And they, of course, offered to repair the car, and they, of course, offered me a suitable, well, not even suitable, they offered me a rental car through Enterprise. I can't Uber in a car through Enterprise. So I told them, look, this is a working car, it generates income, I need to be compensated for that. And they're saying, no, because that's not guaranteed income. And even though I carried a rideshare endorsement on my policy, the person that backed into me didn't. And so therefore, they're not wanting to cover it. Whether or not that's legal, I don't know. I'll get to that further on as this claim progresses. I don't want to cause too many waves. After all, it is my insurance company also, and I don't know if they can make life difficult for me. I don't. So what has happened since then is I got them to agree to at least let me rent a car through the Uber app on a partner platform, Avis, Hertz. They said, yes, that's fine, since they would be supplying me a car anyways. They would reimburse me the cost. So I went to Avis. I went on there, I found a comfort eligible car. It was supposed to be available the next day. It was in Katy, Texas. I said, fantastic. I reserved it. And I made preparations to get myself about halfway there and then Uber the rest of the way, because they're supposed to have given me a $40 ride credit to get there. So I Uber halfway. I'm checking in the app. I'm not seeing any kind of a ride credit, but I'm just like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe it comes on the backside. I'm not really sure how that part works. So I get in the Uber, have a nice conversation with Mr. Toby. End up, he takes me all the way to the rental car facility. I walk in the door at my appointed time, and the lady looks at me like, what do you want? Why are you here? And I said, I'm here to pick up a Toyota Camry or similar to be used on Uber. And I'm at the Uber only Avis desk. Okay, I went to the Uber only location. She says, I don't know why they keep sending you guys here. All I have are electric vehicles. So she says I can put you in a Kia Niro, or I can put you in a Chevy Bolt. And I'm thinking, I can't use either one of those, right? While I do Uber in the Houston area, I don't live in Houston. I live quite a ways on the outskirts, and there are no charging facilities where I am, at least not public facilities. Yes, the hotels have them. Yes, some of the private businesses have them, but they're specifically for those employees. They're not for public use. It's not like I can just drive up there, insert my credit card, call it Christmas, and charge. And I'm thinking, well, that's not what I ordered. I ordered a Toyota Camry or similar with the promise that it was supposed to be at that location at the appointed date and time. So she says, I don't have those. I said, hang on. So I went and I sat down in the lobby and I contacted Avis customer service, right? Talking to Horace on the phone. He's telling me that Unfortunately, yeah, they don't have that car. He starts looking around at different Avis dealerships. She starts looking at different Avis locations. He finally tells me, go to Hobby Airport. They'll have your car at Hobby. I said, okay, fine. I can go to Hobby Airport, and you're telling me if I get a car from Hobby, I can Uber in it, right? And he explicitly said, yes, you can. And I said, fantastic. Are you going to call me an Uber to get over there? After all, I got here in an Uber. And he says, no, you'll have to get yourself over there. Why would we? I mean, he didn't actually say, why would we? But you could just tell, you could tell in his voice, like, why would we pay for your Uber to get over there? So I'm thinking, you know what? So be it. If it gets me a car, I'll battle that afterwards, right? So I call another Uber. The driver comes. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, and this is really bad of me. The driver comes, takes me from Katy, Texas to Hobby Airport at about 5:30 at night, gets me there. The drop-off location, because the address I was given was the actual rental place, but there's no public access to the rental place, so I have to actually walk along the roads of Hobby Airport to get to the arrival area at Hobby, so that I could then get on the shuttle bus and go back to the Avis location. So I do that, right? It's all hot. I'm carrying my little bag. It's just, really, really awkward be walking along the interior roads of the airport trying to get to the departures just to get on a shuttle bus to go back to the Avis location. When I get back there, of course, there's a little bit of a line. I finally make my way to the front, and the lady pulls up my reservation. She's all ready to check me out, and then she quotes me a price which is $90 more than what my reservation was for. $90 more. So I said, hang on. So I got on the phone with customer service again, and the lady on Avis customer service was saying, I don't know why they just can't make the adjustment. The lady at the airport desk is saying, look, this is the airport. I can't take away or change the 15% Houston airport tax. 15%, people. 15% plus some sort of other Houston airport fee, airport surcharge. If I was off the airport property, it would have been 8.25%. Now, granted, remember, I'm paying for this out of pocket with the expectation that the insurance company's paying me back. 15% tax. I finally said, you know what? I'm not sure how this works. The lady on the customer service phone said, you know what? We'll take care of it. Get your car. We'll do some sort of, apply some sort of credits after the fact. Here's a case number you can use for your claim. And I'm thinking, okay, fine, thanks. I get the car. I walk out. It's a Honda Accord. Fits the class, right? It's a Honda Accord. It's nice. It's not super fancy. It's bare bones Honda Accord. Whatever. I can't put it on the app. I call the 800 number that I was given to talk to the Uber support desk at Avis. It just puts me into the normal queue of customer service. At some point, I was offered a free medical device if I ever fall down and can't get up. That's very true, right? You call the number and it's like, hey, you've been selected for this free medical device. Because I'm over 50. Anyways, it was just a crap show. I want to use other words, but it was just a crap show. 45 minutes on the phone with 3 different Avis support people, one person at Uber, and I get it, Uber can't designate an Avis car. Avis has to designate an Avis car. And then I'm told, I finally decide, you know what, I'm just going to go home. I'll deal with this in the morning. So I drive the 45 minutes back to where I'm from. And the very next day, I go into work. I get on the phone with Avis customer service again. I talk to a different representative again, who tells me, this time she says, yeah, no, you can't pick up a car from the airport and included into the Uber program, that has to happen at the desk from the Uber location, the Avis specific Uber location in Katy. I said, so what do I do? She says, drive that car back to that desk in Katy and she can get it on the program. And I said, okay, if I drive this car back to Katy, it can be on the program. I just reconfirming this, right? She says, yes. So that afternoon, I take time off of work again, because I took time off of work the other day, the day to pick up the car. I take time off of work again, drive the hour and a half to the Katy location, and when I walk in, the same lady I saw the first time says, I don't know what they're talking about. We can't just take some random Avis car that you pick up at a random Avis location and put it into the Uber program, because the program has a specific set of cars. I said, hang on. So I go back and contact Avis customer service again. This time, I talk to Miguel. Miguel is actually with the Uber program. Miguel says, yeah, no, you can't just take a random Avis car. It has to be one that's already in the Uber program and designated for the Uber program. And I said, what was I supposed to do? All she had were electric cars. And he said, you should have taken the electric car. And then called every day to find out when a gas car was available. So hang on, wait a second. I reserve a gas car, but I'm supposed to have taken whatever car was available, even though it's not what I reserved or paid for. The answer was yes. You should have taken the electric car and then every day called back. Do you have a gas car? Do you have a gas car? Do you have a gas car? So he tells me I have to take that car back to Hobby Airport and drop it off, because I can't leave it at that Uber location. I can't just leave it in Katy, because that's an Uber only location and they would have to flatbed it back to the airport. So I'm just beside myself throughout this entire process. I drive the car back to Hobby Airport since I have no use for this car whatsoever. I drop it off. They have no idea why I'm returning it 6 days early. I just tell them, just check it in. I'm done, just check it in. I get on the phone with customer service again, and I start telling them exactly what has happened and that they need to call me an Uber to get me home because they have stranded me at the airport. The customer service lady finally says, Uber home, save the receipt, upload it to, and she gives me a website, an email address and a case number. Upload your receipt, we'll reimburse your cost. But I just saw the bill for that one freaking day of renting that Honda Accord that I was promised could be used on the Uber platform, but was found out that it can't be. Not only did it cost me $20 total in gas, driving back and forth, $181 is what they charged me for that one day of having that Avis car that I picked up at the airport and returned back to the airport. So you better believe that come Monday morning, I'm going to be back on the phone with corporate. I'm going to be escalating this as far as I have to escalate this because, one, I shouldn't have to pay one sad cent for any of this. One sad cent. Plus, I believe they owe me 2 Uber rides worth of reimbursement. Maybe even 3 if I count the initial one that I had to take, which I was supposed to have a credit for. Right? But that's beside the point. But having to Uber from the Katy location to the Hobby Airport, and then having to Uber from Hobby Airport home, all chasing down this mythical car that does not exist, that I had reserved with a confirmation number and everything else. Yeah, no, you better believe that I'm after Avis. I'm after Avis's pocketbook, at least for the monies that I have exerted, and hopefully get some compensation for the time and the effort and the running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And of course, here it is, 1 week later, and my Nissan Altima still has not made it to the shop. So, I'm now out a week's worth of Uber income. I've had one heck of a time chasing cars around. Now, I do have one reserved from Hertz on Tuesday. Crossing my fingers that works. But this has been a total nightmare, all because somebody was not paying attention and backed into my car. I wasn't even in the car. I was out of the car using the bugs, the bug scrub on the front headlights and the front end. I wasn't even in the car. Oh, and then some ambulance chaser calls me like 2 days after the accident, asking if I have any injuries or pain or need to see chiropractic. I'm like, no. First of all, how did you get my number? And two, why are you calling me? I wasn't even in the car. Anyways, yeah, no, it has absolutely been a nightmare. Absolutely. Thanks, Avis. Top-notch top-notch customer service. You're the best rental company out there. Avis Budget Group. You've got my business each and every time. No, they do not. Nope. Do not recommend them to anybody. Anybody, for any reason. I don't care if it's the cheapest car that you can find on Expedia. No, bypass them. Just go somewhere else. Go to Rent-A-Wreck. Go to Enterprise. Go borrow a car from somebody. Heck, Turo. Go to Turo. Seriously, go to Turo. Great program, great cars, great people. Turo. There you go. Not a paid advertisement, by the way, but I have used them a couple of times.